What up, leaders? Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's talk about the contract. Let's talk about the oil contract between Guyana and ExxonMobil. And the reason why I'm coming back to this topic again and again is because there are still a lot of misconceptions, lies, dishonesty, and untruths that are circulating about the contract, particularly in this period of the election season. Now, Exxon recently released further information that they discovered 16 oil wells. So a 16th oil well was discovered, bringing Guyana's total oil reserves to 8 billion barrel equivalents. And if you did a rough calculation at $60 a barrel, if we sold 8 billion barrels of oil at $60 a barrel, that works out to be $480 billion. So Guyana's total oil reserves at today's market price is worth $480 billion. But there are still a lot of lies and misconceptions going around about the contract Guyana got with ExxonMobil. The first one is that there's only a 2% royalty. The second one is that because Suriname recently got 6.25% royalty, that Guyana got a worse deal than Suriname. And the third one is that we lost about $150 billion. So people are still telling this lie that we lost about $150 billion in the deal we made with ExxonMobil. Now, these lies can be simply corrected by reading the contract or by doing some very simple mathematics. So what I want to do is rapidly do very simple mathematics, taking the last lie first. So there's somebody going around spreading this on Facebook and on the internet that Guyana lost about $150 billion in the contract with ExxonMobil. This is false. And the reason why this is false is because you can calculate it, right? It can be simply calculated. So, like we just calculated, if we sold all of this 8 billion barrels equivalent of oil at $60 a barrel, we would get $480 billion. Now, Exxon says that the cost of production of oil in Guyana, because it's offshore, is about $46 a barrel. So if you multiply 8 billion barrels of oil by $46 a barrel, you get $368 billion. So the cost of production is $368 billion. Now, if you subtract $368 billion from $480 billion, you're left with $112 billion. So the whole profit, all of the profit from oil in Guyana is worth $112 billion. And Guyana gets 50% of that, which is $56 billion. So the entire contract is worth to Guyana $56 billion if we get 50% of the profits. So how can we lose $150 billion in this contract, right? So this is just a lie. You can't lose $150 billion when you only had $112 billion of profit to work with in the first place. So that is lie number one. Lie number two is that we only got 2% royalty. 2% royalty is only part of the contract. We got 50% of the profits and we got an $18 billion signing bonus. So if you took the 50% profit and the 2% royalty and you calculate what that would be equivalent to, it works out to be 14.5% in royalty. So if you wanted to convert the 50% profit and the 2% royalty to entirely royalty, it turns out that we get about 14.25% in royalty. Right? So this nonsense about Guyana getting only 2% royalty is a blatant lie. All you have to do is to read Article 11 of the contract. And remember, we've already covered that part of the contract, Article 11 of the contract. I'll put a link to the video in which I covered that here. So all you have to do is to read Article 11 and you will see that we have a 50% profit sharing interest in the contract, a profit sharing agreement in the contract, plus the 2% royalty. And when you add them together, you get about 14.25%. I've done the calculations on that, and I'm going to release that in another video. Thirdly, there's this notion that Suriname did better than us because Suriname recently signed a contract in which they got 6.25% royalty on their contract plus 36% interest. Now, I already said we got 14.25% royalty. If you calculated the equivalent royalty that we got 14.25% royalty. So that is way more than 6.25% that Suriname got. So there's this uproar and furor in the media about how Suriname did so well and did so much better than us and Guyanese are stupid. It's all lies. It's all misinformation and disinformation and propaganda because of the current election side. And it's time we begin to take pride in the contract we got. We got a good contract with ExxonMobil, and it's a kind of contract that we can get more from as the price of oil increases. Imagine if the price of oil goes to $92 a barrel, which is double the production cost. The cost of production is $46 a barrel. If the price of oil goes to $92 a barrel, we will have 50% profit, a 50% profit margin, and Guyana will get 25% of that. Imagine that, 25% of the profits plus the 2% royalty, amounting to about 27% profit and royalty combined if the price of oil goes to $92 a barrel. So we have a profit sharing agreement that allows us to make more money as a country when the price of oil increases. The other side to this that everybody misses is that Exxon's share of the profits has to be shared, has to be divided into three, because Exxon has 45%, Hess has 30%, and CNOOC, that is next in China's national offshore oil company, has 25% of that contract. So the contract has to be split, that is, the profits have to be split three ways for Exxon and its partners. So while we get 50% of the profit, Exxon ends up with less than half of their 50%. They end up with about 23%, 22% of the profits, right? So you have to take the whole contract into consideration, see both sides, both the Exxon side and the Guyana side of the deal, and understand that we actually got a very good deal, and that all of these lies and misinformation circulating are there to have us doubt the interest that Guyana got, have us doubt that we did a good deal. So these are the things we need to look out for when you hear these lies circulating. Just do the math. Ask the person who's circulating these lies to do the math, or show them the math and show them that we got a good contract. It's actually better than most of the equivalent contracts in this area because it's a profit sharing contract. We're betting on the fact that the price of oil will increase with time. Now tell me if you have heard any more lies, any more misinformation circulating about Guyana. What are some of the popular misconceptions about the contract? A lot of people are saying Guyana got robbed, that Guyana got a bad deal, but it's not true. But I'd like to hear from you. Leave in the comments below. Tell me what you've been hearing about the contract in Guyana, and I will attempt to address those issues, those statements about the contract in a future video. Remember, you can share this video with friends and family around the world. Like and subscribe. Let people know what's happening in Guyana. Later!